How's it, guys? This is Davey FPL and welcome back to the Deadline with Davey live stream. This one's going to be the big 30. So Gameweek 30 is upon us. Let me know if the audio and the video look and sound Gucci. I'm just going to adjust the chat here. Sorry, I was reading some news articles about lineups before this just because Gameweek 30 is such a tough week to kind of call. So I posted this to the Legend members, but it's hard for me to recommend that you should sell a player like a Harland if we don't know that he's going to start. So with this uncertainty, it does create a bunch of confusion, and let's see what happens, I guess, pre-deadline. I hope we do get some info, but do we even trust it at this stage? I know Man City apparently were trying to look to filtering out these leaks, but don't exactly know if they did do that. Unfortunately, Game Week 29 wasn't the best. We saw a drop in rank, but don't worry. I see Vincent's in chat. We do have the chocolate milk. I thought Game Week 29, I could go against it. I was wrong. I needed it, and therefore it is back for Game Week 30. So let's hope it's an absolute banger one. Let's hope your guys' Saturday is looking okay. It's a bit of a later stream, so I do apologize if you guys are maybe around the world, on the right side of the world. If you look at the atlas, your time zone is probably a bit further along, but for myself, it's a bit late in the afternoon. I know for you UK people, might have had a little bit of a lie-in this morning, but we're going to be looking at Game Week 30. Let's hope we get some early team sheet news, and let's just see what sort of happens. So we had some early questions from Nan, basically posted the entire team what to do with 2 free transfers. So I'm going to let you guys know this from the start. I'm going to be conservative in this approach. I'm probably not going to recommend selling Harland. Sorry, Siri is just going crazy. I can't really recommend selling Harland if we don't generally know that he's not going to start. I think the Captaincy's been probably swayed off him for the time being. I've seen a few other content creators go against Harland, which makes me think there might be some news in the background. I unfortunately don't get any early team sheet news. You're going to have to rely on someone else. But I can't recommend selling Harland if we don't know that he's going to definitely be benched. So I'm just going to put that out there. Also, as a Liverpool fan, I think that Salah has been dreadful. There is the point, though, and we have had it a few times this season, where you can't sometimes trust fans. I don't know why. It just seems like sometimes the opposite happens. We saw it with Tavernier, where Bournemouth fans basically said that Tavernier hasn't been doing well, and now look at him, he's a great asset. So let's see what happens. But all I can say is that if you've watched any Liverpool game, you'll know that Salah just isn't on the form he's shown in previous seasons. So that's what I'll just put out there. And also maybe Ekitike gets benched. So if you're going to be replacing Harland with Ekitike, there's also a chance that Ekitike then gets benched. So what do you kind of do then? So okay, let's look at your team and see what you have. Your team looks fairly okay. I understand the concern because you have Semenyo. Enzo isn't the best option there. So what I might actually do is take Enzo to Tavernier. That might be quite a good selection. Your front 2 are okay. I understand you don't have Ekitike, so you might be concerned about that one. Let's maybe wait and see. If we get early team news that Harland's bench, I think Ekitike is a sensible option then. But I can't recommend kind of doing too much of a switch around if we don't know that he's going to start. Just off the bat, though, yeah, Enzo to Tavernier could be quite nice for Burnley away. Tracy's saying, feels good to be back for a live stream again. Hopefully everything is okay. I remember that you did say you wanted to buy once, so hopefully if you were still there, everything's okay. Vincent is saying, at airport boarding my flight soon, just came to say hi. Vincent, a real admin, would skip the flight for the deadline stream. Just joking, of course, but do hope you travel safely. Let us know where you are traveling to, and we're not going to miss your Erling Haaland hasn't traveled to the Etihad messages. Let's just say that. So just let me know what time your boarding is, and then those will kind of go away. But yeah, as you're saying, TUPD gang, not yet. We still have about 49 to go. And then we'll see what happens. FPL Hits is also in the chat saying, I hope you're doing well. I've got 1 free transfer, 2 in the bank. And only Virgil van Dijk from Liverpool. If you've watched Liverpool play, might not be the worst thing in the world. Don't fancy Harland take a TK. Shall do Rogers/Wilson to Szoboszlai/Wirtz. So definitely don't take out Wilson this week. He's got Burnley at home next week. And if he's not fit for this week, he should be okay for next week. Rogers, I can kind of understand. I can't suggest Wirtz because don't know if he's going to start. And Szoboszlai has a higher chance, but he could be playing more defensive or right back. So I think you probably just stick with what you have. I think if you were to go for a Tavernier, that could be an interesting one. Maybe Rodgers to Tavernier and just play the one game week. And you've said play Alderete or Wilson. I would just play Wilson and hope that he plays. Let me see if there's anything else that I've missed. Giroud, all good to me. Wirtz starting. I don't know. I think Wirtz might get benched this week just because he came back from that injury. He was struggling to start. He started now. I think he'll get rested and then come off the bench and then be fine for Galatasaray. That's what my prediction on Wirtz would be. But of course, I could be wrong. And that's the thing about Liverpool. And maybe we can talk about them. Let me maybe go and bring up the Liverpool lineup that played against Galatasaray, because that might give us some more context. Okay, so Liverpool, I want past games results. Okay, let me see if I can bring this up and then edit the stream. Okay, you guys can actually see it perfectly. Okay, so maybe I must just zoom in a bit. Okay, then you guys can't see it, but it's okay. Let me just adjust this. Okay, so if you look at Liverpool's team, basically what you have to focus on is kind of from the midfield forward, but also paying attention to the right back. So the right back is quite important because basically it's going to be Szoboszlai or Frimpong in my opinion. I don't know if they're going to play Joe Gomez here. And the whole overall thinking about Liverpool is they just lost to Galatasaray. Does Klopp want to play the exact same team next midweek, or has he realized that something's a bit wrong with it and he wants to change it? Because that almost flips your agenda around, or your narrative. It's basically, okay, if he wants to play a completely different team, maybe those options get rested this week, or it could be that he wants to kind of get the most of them for 60 minutes so they get practice for Wednesday. There's so many kind of agendas that you can look at, but basically what I think on Wednesday is that Frimpong will play right back. I just feel like maybe we need a bit more of an attacking right side. So I think Frimpong plays right back. That then frees up Szoboszlai. He'll play in midfield somewhere. But does that mean then that Frimpong starts this one or gets rested for this one? I think it might mean that he gets rested for this one, which might mean Szoboszlai plays right back. I'm just kind of taking you through my thinking if that is the case. So same thing with Wirtz. Wirtz just came back from injury, so his mate is a bit clearer, but similar to Frimpong. I don't know if he's going to be playing the full game here. Definitely will get reduced minutes, but is that 60 or is that 30? I don't know. I will say I think Gakpo plays left wing because he was rested against Galatasaray. And then you also have Rio Ngamoa, who this is where Salah comes in, because is Salah then going to get rested? Who kind of knows? Or is he going to be dropped? I don't know. He only played 60 minutes though. I kind of feel like Ekitike should play unless Slot plays Gakpo as a false 9 or plays him as a center forward, which is a bit weird. I think Ekitike should be okay, but reduce minutes. So is he worth even bringing in anyways if it's reduced minutes? It's just really tough to call. And I don't know, this has probably been completely useless, but I'm basically taking you guys through why this is such a tough thing to call and predict, because honestly, who knows? And the fact is that all these Prem teams lost or drew in the midweek. So the two situations is either they need rest or they actually need to play as a team a bit more and get a bit of practice, which is what I almost think about maybe what Man City might do. I think Man City might start Harland for 60 minutes and say, let's just hope he gets a bit of form and then takes that form into Real Madrid. Otherwise, we could see the exact same Erling Haaland that we saw on Tuesday or Wednesday as we will next week. So yeah, it's really tough to call. And as I said, this has probably been useless, but yeah, it's just tough to predict what managers are going to do. And that's why, selfishly, I'm hoping for early team sheet news. But I don't think we're going to get it. One thing I should probably do is just change Keenan Hall. And then Captaincy, I don't know. I think I'm going to put Captaincy off Harland for now. Just because I think it's going to confuse more people coming into the stream. And I don't know anything. Hands up, I haven't been told anything. I'm a small FPL content creator. I don't get much. Would captaining Raya be an option? Jason, I don't know if I'd captain Raya. I know you've probably asked that oh, captaining a defender, but it's not. It might not be the worst shout in the world. And the only reason for that is obviously the fact that the chance of a clean sheet for Arsenal is pretty high. So, might not be the worst thing in the world. I know he's been getting a few 7-pointers. Maybe you're feeling Raya a little bit more now, but I think you probably just got elsewhere. I mean, Thiago's there against Wolves at home. They have improved, but I still feel like they'll concede. Bruno's there, that's nailed, playing Aston Villa that haven't been great recently. They also have to rotate potentially because they just played on Thursday. There are a few other options here and there. And if you're confident about one of these differentials, like an Ekitike starting, a Salah starting, then, I mean, you can also go there. G-Red, Liverpool expecting to just beat Spurs, putting the kids out. So, are you talking about, which team are you talking about? Because that's the other thing, is that Spurs have so many injuries. So, are you talking about Liverpool putting the kids out, or are you talking about Spurs putting the kids out? Because I don't think Liverpool will put the kids out. I don't think that. I just think like Rio and Gamo has been playing pretty well from a Liverpool fan point of view. So I do feel like he deserves to play minutes. Flying back home to Hong Kong in 40 minutes. Have a safe... I had a work trip, Vincent. That is good. It's a little bit annoying for you, unfortunately, if you had a work trip flying on a Saturday. But hopefully your Sunday's pretty chilled. Klopp or Slot? Sorry, did I say Klopp? I mean, I wish it was Klopp, but unfortunately it's Slot. Paulie, the tweet I put, I did see the tweet. That's why I didn't put it on Bruno, because I was like, maybe then I'm going to be with everyone else. But no, it probably will be on Bruno, to be honest, if I was to give my prediction by deadline. But let's just spice things up, as you said. I'll check Twitter constantly. But you guys also let me know if you do see anything. I don't know. I doubt we get news on Harland just because it's the latest kickoff. And Liverpool, your guess is as good as mine. We're playing at 6:30 tomorrow, so I don't think any news. There probably will be a training session today, which things could happen. In touch wood, nothing happens, but there could always be something like that. Sorry, I've been absolutely waffling. I've missed a ton of chats here. Nice to hear, Tracy. Camcy poll. Yeah, let me do a Camcy poll. Light Ray, thanks for the reminder. Let's pop it out here. Who is your captain? And this is your captain, like, answer, like, honestly, like, who you currently captaining? I'll say Harland/City because I know Semenyo's had some juice recently. Some people have gone and captained him. I'll put Ekitike/Salah just because they're the two. Who else is a captain? I think Bruno's a pretty sensible captain, and I'm going to put other, but, like, there are a few selections in and around you. I'm trying to think, am I missing out anyone insane? I don't think so. Let's do these. And you guys can tell me who your captain is currently. I do feel like Bruno will be the highest option. Okay, so let me just check. I'm going to go through the chat quick. Daniel asked, my forwards are Harland, Thiago, and JP. Should I sell Harland for Ekitike? Yo, Daniel, as I've said, like, it's really tough to recommend that. Both players might be benched. I would probably just stick with Harland. What's your opinion on Rodgers? Is a move to Tavernier or Anderson a good choice? Because it is against United, they've just played in the Europa competition. I feel like there could be some slight rotation. Should start. I like Tavernier because of Burnley. I think if you're going to be wildcarding soon, you might also just go for it. And that's what I'm contemplating. I wish Salah was in better form because then it would just make it easy for me. I could do that switch and see what happens. Taco to Virgil and bench Anderson and Rodon. Yeah, that moves okay. That moves fine. I'm also worried about Anderson's minutes, so I can relate to that. Rice/Semenyo to Soboslai. You probably want to take out Rice first, even though it's a better game potentially and he might be more nailed. He definitely blanks in 31. And Man City might not blank in 31. Look, it's unlikely that they move the blank just because it's such a quick turnaround. But let's just say that happens. I mean, you probably want Semenyo for that. So I'd rather take out Rice. Rice to Cunha, can't afford Mbeumo. I would just do Tavernier then. Target that Burnley game. Will Alisson play? That's interesting. I haven't seen many people with Alisson. I can go and search for you. As far as I know, I don't think so. Okay, let me just go check one of the Liverpool fan sites. Slot on... Okay, is Allison even in here? Okay, yeah. He felt something when he passed the ball. It was minor. So it didn't take long, but games follow past. We had to Muscala. Yeah, it's inconclusive, but yeah, I don't think you have to make a goalkeeper transfer, especially if you have someone like a Dubravka as a backup. But yeah, not the most like concrete news on him. Okay, let me just see. Allison. Okay, Rohitz is coming in and saying Harland has a phenomenal record against. Problem is Salah's. That is true. Salah does love playing in Spurs, and those games are usually high scoring. But they are both in bad form. Yeah, so you've pretty much summed up the thoughts there. Start Chris Richards or Alderete. I'd probably go with Richards and just hope that... yeah, like, I mean, Brighton haven't been fantastic. Okay, Paulie, just park this question for the clean sheet odds, because I think this is a great question for that. A bit of a head scratcher. Who would you bench, Munoz or Anderson? I'd bench Anderson. Will for me, it's. I don't even think it's too much of a head scratcher. I think play Munoz. Captain JP, Bruno or Harland. It's between Bruno and Harland for me. I think based on the current form, it's like Bruno's the safe option. Harland and Mane to Ekatike and João Pedro gets me 11 for Gameweek 13. Makes sense. Yeah, no, those moves look okay. Look, I mean, Ekatike and João Pedro might also be benched, reduced minutes, but I think those make sense. But yeah, if you're doing any of these moves, don't be surprised if they benched. Captain, you must be Cartel. Vincent, I wish I was Cartel, then I would know who's playing. I think Captain Bruno better, says Wilson. Thanks, Jason. And then we have... will Saliba play this game week? Pawan, I think he should. The defenders should be safer than the attackers. Semenyo plus Rogers to Bruno Fernandes or Raul Milos. Those moves look good to me, especially if Semenyo's benched. Start Anderson or Van Hecker. Let's check. Just park that and let's wait for the clean sheet odds. Start Lafie or Wilson. I'd start Wilson and then just hope he plays. I think Wilson should play. Apparently in the podcast he said he's fine. Okay, Paulie, that's interesting. Can't see him being outdone. Currently on Verts. Okay, if you think Verts is going to play, then that's great. Fanta, thank you for the chant. Captain Saw. I mean, Saw's is on penalties now. That's an advantage. But they also, Crystal Palace also in European football. Who do you think has the biggest rank gain potential? So Connor, this is something that I've been contemplating because sitting at just below 1 million, I have to sort of take some punts. And it's game week 30. And that's why I do feel like Salah captaincy has that advantage. But... I don't know. Chances for Verts. There is a chance, but I feel like it's more on the side of a benching late appearance, if I'm honest. Thanks, Edward. Do appreciate it. Richards or out of form Rogers. You start Rogers if you're going to keep him. I would play an attacker over the defender. Sorry, I'm late. What did you miss, Sadat? You didn't miss anything at the moment. I'll check Twitter after this. Is this your final team? Not at the moment, Cone. There's probably going to be some late team news. Is Harland available? He is available. So that was the weird thing in the press conference, is that Pep said that Harland is fit and ready, available. So I didn't even know that he wasn't fit. Thank you for becoming a member, Nkala. Do appreciate it. Thank you for the support. I like the Robbie profile picture. Okay, let's check Twitter and see if there's anything. I don't think so. All I can see is that no one is captaining Harland. Yeah, I don't see anything at the moment. No team sheet. Is Hugo captain nailed for you? I would say initially, he was kind of my captain once we got the... Like, there was the speculation about Harland. And that's just because Spurs have looked really bad. But now, like, the more you think of it, the more you like, I don't know. That's basically it. And, like, these weeks are so tough. But look, they also have massive gains if you get it right. So if you predict that Haaland's going to play and you captain him and he does super well, people are going to be scared of Harland this week. So it's a week that you can rise in rank. It's just more risky. So basically it depends on if you like a boring manager or not boring manager. Any Harland teams, Siobhan, nothing at the moment, unfortunately. Connor, I've got to go to football in 15 minutes. What's the plan? So Connor, this is the plan. If you have to go to football in 15 minutes, what I would maybe suggest is wait until 15 minutes and then maybe we get some news. But I think then what your plan is you probably roll the transfer and then you captain Bruno, because at the moment we have no confirmation about anything. So Bruno's safe. Bruno's going to play 90 minutes. He's on penalties. Aston Villa on the best of form. But if we get news potentially later than that, then maybe that's going to spice things up. But I think that's the safe play. And also rolling the transfer is advantageous with this unknown schedule we have. So that's probably the safe play and what I think a lot of people are going to do this week. Ewan is saying Rice to Semenyo. I wouldn't be bringing in a Man City player. What I would say, if you want to take out Rice, then Tavernier just looks great. He's getting the good XG involvement. He's got Burnley, worst team. So, you know, I might as well just suggest that. Cookies is saying Salah triple captain, just worried about minutes and fasting. So you don't want to keep that triple captain for a double game week because there might be a few coming up. But yeah, I think with the whole like fasting thing, he's played enough seasons to be adjusted to it, and I think Mo Salah is just like physically a freak. So I don't think it's the fitness or the cardio that's the problem at the moment. It's just the fact that he's just looks so bad in distribution. So yeah, that's the problem with Salah, and as you mentioned, minutes, because if he got 60 minutes against Galatasaray, is that a good or bad thing? That's the big question. Any thoughts on selling Harland? Jacobus, yes. My main reason for selling Harland was the fact that like I need to take some punts now. You know, it's that stage of the season. Salah, if Salah was in better form, literally perfect opportunity, would slap the Captaincy armband on him so quick. But it's the fact that he's not in form that creates all these additional problems. Like, is he even going to start? What's going to happen? So I have considered selling Harland, and I could sell Harland for someone like a João Pedro, but if Harland starts, I don't know how much of a upgrade João Pedro might be. Look, like Newcastle aren't performing great either, but they're not like the worst team. So that's my current thoughts on it. It's just like there's no real standout, no-brainer, which usually means that maybe you don't go for it. Start Rodgers or Anderson. I mean, Milos Anderson to me is the best player in the Prem at the moment, so I'd probably just go Anderson. Hill or O'Reilly to start. I would say you have to go for Hill just because he's got that Burnley game. And O'Reilly, there's speculation, maybe he plays, maybe he doesn't, so just go safe and go for that Burnley fixture. I've captained Ekatika and Nervous at 250k, chasing under 50. I mean, it's probably the play to do. And Carla is saying, how's it, Abby? First question as a member, thank you. Can you suggest any replacements for Bortman? Any price or Arsenal slots full and have Tarkowski? Do you have Virgil van Dijk? If you don't have Virgil, I probably would go for him. Otherwise, Senesi. I think Senesi with Burnley away is a great pick. If you're wildcarding in Gameweek 32, Senesi, I mean, Burnley's a great fixture. So out of those two, Virgil or Senesi. Start Wilson or Anderson. I think you probably, I mean, Anderson's slightly safer just because you don't know if Wilson's going to start. But I think if Wilson does play, if both players are going to start, I would start Wilson. If we don't get team news, who to get in to replace Rodgers? I would go Tavernier. Will you play DCL against Crystal Palace or lean towards transferring? If yes, whom? I like DCL because DCL opens some routes of Leeds doubles, so you might not have to wildcard so early. And I think against Crystal Palace is okay. They just played Thursday. They're going to be playing again next midweek. They have to sort of get goals because currently I think Crystal Palace have drawn, right? Am I right in saying that? Let me just check. Yeah, so they drew 0-0 and now they're going away from home. What I will add though is that a lot of these English teams, especially in the Europa Conference, like their XG was insane. They just couldn't convert chances. So I'm not too worried about them. I guess if they do go out of European competitions, it might actually be a good thing for our FPL teams, unless you are relying on some doubles and some blanks. Munoz's replacement. So Munoz, as far as I know, has a chance of playing, so I might just keep. How's it, Bay? Hopefully you're good. Chanakum is saying, yeah, listing team. Just one free transfer. Okay, you got Harland, João Pedro, you got Wilson, Rice, Mbuemo, Bruno, Dango. Yeah, your team looks stacked. It looks like a good team. Should I wildcard? No, you don't have to wildcard. Your team looks pretty good. Only suggestions might be like Rice if he doesn't start, but Wilson... I mean, Wilson, you might be relying on him to play minutes, but I wouldn't take Wilson out. Just look at the rest of your team. I mean, you have some coverage if need be. Yeah, Rice is the only one, but I would say if Rice starts, it's a good game. I mean, I think Arsenal keep a clean sheet. That reminds me. Now let's go over to the projections. Ty, quickly, you're asking best mid-range mid. I think it's Tavernier with the Burnley game. So I'm going to check Twitter quickly. I'll give you guys a second to read Mo Salah on the graphic from Rob TFPL as always. I'm just going to check Twitter while you guys get a quick review of what it's looking like. Okay, cool. So nothing on Twitter as I can see. So let's go over some projections. A lot of you guys asked about, potential which defender to start. So this should make it a bit clearer for you and a bit easier. So this week, returning to the top is going to be Arsenal. 50%, very high chance. Happy that I have the double up. Let's just hope they all start. Unfortunately, Everton struggle a little bit from an attacking point of view. Have been better recently, but I still feel like Arsenal are the team to target. We've got Liverpool at 39% as well as Brentford. And surprisingly, we do have a bit of a drop for Bournemouth. So the odds aren't really favoring like a definite Bournemouth clean sheet. But if you guys do have a Bournemouth defender, still an okay chance. Brighton look good. United are okay. Nottingham Forest, slight dip off there. The Nottingham Forest Fulham game looks like it might be a boring fixture, but not the most boring. The most boring is Sunderland, Brighton. Both those teams' projected goals aren't too hot for either of them. And I guess you could say the same about Crystal Palace Leeds. So there's a few very boring games here that could take place. But with the European games kind of either side, maybe these games might liven up a bit. So from a defensive point of view, definitely Arsenal. Virgil hopefully looks okay. Brentford, if you guys do have them, they look fine. But like if you guys are contemplating whether to start like an Anderson or an Alderete, both of them are super similar. So I would say go for Alderete because he's more nailed than Anderson might be. Not saying that Anderson definitely is a bench, but I do worry the fact that they played Diop and Bassi in one of the last Prem games. They then played, they then were benched. Anderson played with another centre-back. They lost against lower opposition in the FA Cup. So will they go back to Diop and Bassi in the Prem again. I don't know. I don't feel like Anderson's the type of player to be benched. I think he's also the captain, so he should be back. But yeah, there is a slight risk there, and you guys will see that in terms of expected minutes, that sort of thing. So maybe if I can remember any of the other questions about who to start, there was a few questions about like, should you start a Munaz or Richards? 30% is okay. 30% is better than someone like a Fulham or a Sunderland, so maybe go for them. What about Rice? Is he starting? I can go over some projected lineups for you. Let me actually maybe do that while you guys are soaking in the information. I'm going to go to Jump the Wave, one word on Twitter. So she does projections on basically like a consensus. So fans from a respective team submit their application or submit their lineups, and then she basically combines them into percentages. So let me go and check here. I also want to say the Newcastle fan did predict a pretty strong lineup against Chelsea, so you can do with that what you want. Okay, so Arsenal, Timber White, there might be some slight rotation. It looks like Gabriel Saliba pretty nailed. Calafayori, Hincapi, they might be rotated. It looks like, where's Rice is 100%, so he should be okay. Rice, Zubamendi are 100%, so they should be fine. Yeah, it looks like the team should be pretty like set. There might be rotation between like a Madueke, Gyökeres, Havertz, but it does look like the sort of midfield to defenders looks pretty nailed. Also, let me just check for you, people asking me about Liverpool. So the Chelsea projection, yeah, João Pedro's at 100% if you guys are worried there. Liverpool, Ekitike is 100%. Wirtz is 68%. Salah's 95%. So a lot of people saying Salah will start. Szoboszlai is 100%. Virgil 100. Frimpong 84. So yeah. I mean, these are just predictions though. They're not sort of set in stone. If you look at the Man City projections, 75% are saying Harland starts, which is quite interesting. And then the rest of the team is a minefield. O'Reilly's 50%. So, I mean, 75% is pretty decent. What that tells you is that like 75% of fans are saying that he should be playing. United, I mean, United's one is just like 100% everything. Newcastle's lineup also looks pretty set. Yeah, and then Spurs lineup, if you guys saw the team sheet news, looks pretty bad. And that's why, like, I just wish Salah was on better form. Should I actually just do it? Should I just bring in Salah? Played Dewsbury Hall. Arsenal have started to choke. I mean, that'll be quite hectic if Everton do pull off some damage. Pedro, what's the plan for today? What do you think about dropping Harland for Pedro and Thiago? I mean, I don't mind dropping Harland, but it is a risk. Luffy, Anderson, Wilson, who to bench? I would probably bench... I think you probably... I want to say Luffy, but he's on penalties. Well, I think split penalties. You think Timber might be benched? Ewan, I think like there's a chance that anyone can be benched. Let's just put it that way. I think that apparently he looked a bit tired in the fixture, so that might mean that he could be benched. But I don't know. Last Leeds Palace game was 4-1 to Leeds. Previous was 5-1 to Palace. These numbers don't mean much. Yeah, Henry, exactly. There are predictions, but basically what they're saying was like if you were to put your money somewhere, this is what people are suggesting. Mo Salah won last time. But is it a one last time because it's a good thing or a bad thing? That's my concern. It's great saying one last time, but then maybe it's because it's such a bad experience you don't want to do it again. GW30, I'm gonna probably wait the 10 minutes, but yeah, I think you have to lock it in at some point. Yeah. What's Semenyo's percentage? Okay, yeah, good question. Let me just go check for you. Sorry, I actually forgot about Semenyo. Semenyo's 50%, so not very likely. But like basically every player is 50%. So it's like Semenyo, Savinho, and obviously these are like, it's like a puzzle. If one player misses out, probably another one fits in. So it's not super like there's some overlap between the predictions. Let's just say that. Okay, the Captaincy poll, almost actually forgot about this. So the Captaincy poll has seen a massive shift away from Harland. So we're currently on 38% Bruno, 30% on Ekitike/Salah, and then you have 27% on Harland. So pretty split week, and that could actually mean quite an exciting week, but Captaincy might become quite clutch. And then others 5%. So bench one, Rice, Tavernier, Wilson. It's like if Wilson is a rotation concern, you can bench him. I just don't know if he is. I feel like Rice is pretty standard though, so like you're going to be getting your good pick. Like I would probably play Rice just from the fact that I don't think Everton score. If you had Wilson, would you start him? So the thing about it though is like my team's very different to your guys' teams. So like if I had Wilson, it would be instead of Dango. So I probably would play Wilson because I don't want to play Dewsbury Hall. If I did have him though, like if I did have him, as long as it wasn't like a really good option instead of him, I think I would play him. Like I would play Wilson over a defender. But if you have someone that's really reliable that you're playing instead of him or benching because of him, then I think there's enough of a slight risk there to potentially just bench him. Bench Wilson or Saw? I probably would bench Wilson because Saw's on penalties and they could get one. Harland is expected to be... I don't know if it's true. I can check Twitter, but like, unless someone's tweeted something, then we won't know. And we only have 17 minutes left. Should I sell Semenyo? If you don't think Semenyo starts, then you can. But also, slight reminder, it's not a definite that Man City blank next week. There's a chance that they do play, but it's unlikely. It's a bit of a short turnaround. So, and that's the same thing with Harland, none. Like, basically, if Harland doesn't play this one, it means, 10 minutes against West Ham, and then a blank. So I would rather sell him if that's the case. What chance of Wilson starting? So Wilson, for me, starting is he's got a higher chance just because he said he's fit, and his determination is not like a rest. It's the fact that he just has been injured. Harland out for JP and a -4 to get Rodgers out and Salah in. Bruno captain. I'd only do the -4 if you want Salah captain. Gorilla. Thoughts on Cunha and Krippy to Raul Jimenez and Szoboszlai for 2 game weeks. I have Salah. Planning on wildcarding in 32. Any other good options? So Cunha's a fine option, and if Krippy starts against Burnley, you probably want to have him. But yeah, Raul Jimenez is a rotation risk with Muniz. I think he starts one of the games potentially, but it's okay. And Szoboszlai, I mean, there is also a risk there. So, like, Jester, I don't immediately see like a ton of upside from your transfers. And to use 2 free transfers and you're not captaining one of them, that sort of thing, it's a bit rough, even though you want a wild card. Just remember, you can use transfers after your wild card. So if you have 3 going into the wild card, you'll have 3 afterwards. So just keep that in mind. Yeah, I can understand the appeal of Raul Jimenez and Szoboszlai, but I don't think Cunha and Krippy are that bad. That's what I probably would say, Jester. Look, I don't think Krippy is a definite start, but he's not like the worst option in the world. How does your team look in game week 31? Let me go and get you that team. This is also a good planning step. So good suggestion, kind of us going over the team. Let me just adjust here. So this is FPL.team if you guys don't know. Okay, so if we go game week 31, Let me just zoom out. You guys can still see the team. Okay, so the team looks like this. So we have a full starting 11 currently. Is it the best? Maybe not. What I was looking to potentially do is like take Hall out for Hill. This might just be a cheaper option now that he doesn't have a great fixture. So let me actually see as like... Yeah, so Fulham have a good fixture, but... Yeah, this is what I was potentially looking to do. Taking out Hill and then instead of Dewsbury Hall, I can do Wilson. But I can afford the 0.0 in the bank. So this is maybe what I was looking at doing. But I don't know now. And I don't know if it's worth kind of using 2 free transfers to do this. That's why I was actually thinking this week maybe taking Hall out for Hill and then playing Hill instead of Anderson. But when I saw the clean sheet chance for Bournemouth, I was like, I don't know if it's that great. But this is how my team looks for Game Week 31. Let me just reset it. So we do have a full starting 11 currently. Yeah, so that's the team. So I don't necessarily have to make a transfer, but yeah, if I want to take advantage of that kind of Wilson fixture, then I might have to. Yeah, and Dewsbury Hall against Chelsea, I mean, probably not the best game, but not the worst. But yeah, that's the team. So like, I know there's a lot of you guys out there that like almost are selling players because you want to get a full team, and that's 100% fine. Like, it's a good strategy to sort of prepare for the upcoming blank. Let's check Twitter again and see if there's anything. If you didn't own any Liverpool attackers, would you take Harland out for Ekitike? Yeah, I think then it makes it a little bit simpler, just because if you really want some Liverpool coverage, it makes sense. But then what you could be saying is, like, if you don't have Man City coverage, would you buy Harland? Because like, if Harland plays, you probably want some sort of Man City coverage against West Ham. It's just tough. Manuel saying, Debbie, a few game weeks ago, I gave up Ekitike to get Gabriel and also got JP. Should I stick with him, or you have any other ideas? JP's in good form, so I might just stick. And also, like, if it's going to rip your team up now, Emmanuel, I don't know. The one I worry about is Anderson. Like, is Anderson going to play? Because if he doesn't, I need some coverage. I actually, yeah. Okay, I don't see anything. Okay, yeah, I don't see anything. So that probably means we're rolling. I'm probably going to captain. Regrettably, I'm probably going to captain Bruno. It's the boring play. That's like the boring play to potentially do. Jag, your team is fine. I would probably just bench Wilson this week, and then your team looks okay. With UCL being a major concern, is Bruno the safest captaincy option, as most UCL players will have lots of minutes? Zingy, basically that's the thinking, yeah. So basically the thinking is that Bruno is playing against a team that played in Europe on Thursday. He's been rested, definitely going to start, whereas everyone else might be benched or reduced minutes. Can I see like everyone being benched? Probably not. I think there might be like one guy that's benched, like it might be a Harland, it might be an Ekitike, it might be a Salah, who knows? But I don't think it's going to be everyone. What is your background music name? It is Synthwave / Space Wave Mix Journey. Copyright free music. So I've gone cheap and I have copyright free music. Harland is expected to be... So I don't know where the news is coming from. Can you guys just list your source? That'll be quite useful. If it is another content creator, don't worry, I won't be angry that you're watching them as well. It'll be quite useful just to find out what's sort of happening. And then obviously what's going to happen in FPL is that Harland's going to come off the bench and he's going to score a Hattie in like 10 minutes because that's always what happens. Roll on the transfer. Yeah, currently I think just rolling might be sensible. The only thing I'm thinking about now, so obviously we don't have Harland. If Harland is going to be benched, I think I might do a transfer. But if Harland isn't benched, I do worry about Anderson. Now, I worry about Anderson because if Hall's benched and Keane's benched, which might happen, then we have like no bench coverage for Anderson. And that's my concern. But is that worth spending an extra transfer on? I like Hall out to Hill because it allows me to afford Wilson next week. But could we actually go for a better defender in game week 31? Let me check. So Hill is super cheap, so... I mean, maybe. Now, you probably want Wilson for that, so... Do I then go for Hill and bench Anderson? Let me just check price rises quickly. Sorry guys, I'm once again leaving it a little bit late. News on Harland. As far as I know, there's nothing. Let me check. I'm just checking what prices I bought these guys in at. Okay, so if Hull does go up, that'll be good. Okay, if we don't get any early team sheet news about Harland, I might just do Hill in for Wilson. We have 5 minutes to go, so I probably should think of something sooner rather than later. Is it worth doing that transfer though? That's what I'm kind of thinking. No Harland team sheet news. Okay, and then one of the Liverpool accounts tweeted like projections might change for the Liverpool game. Okay, let me go and if you have Salah captain, would you captain him? Is Tarkowski? Yeah, Tarkowski's enough bench coverage because at least he plays. I just worry about Hall and other players. Is it worth doing any transfer? I don't know if it's worth doing any transfer, but I probably want Wilson next week. So, do I think Anderson plays? That's the big question. I think I might just let's just roll and see what happens. Let's just see if Anderson can get some points. Konza to Hiller's bench coverage. Oh, that move also looks fine. Let me just post the team to Discord. Just give me a second. We can do some quick fire rounds. I also feel like it's a must win for City. Like, they can't afford to drop points. But the thing about it, though, is that that's what we said. And then Harland was benched the last week and they still won. So, like, just because Harland's benched doesn't mean that they won't win. Okay, posted to Discord, and let me just post to... Yeah, we're rolling the transfer currently, I think. Okay, and pay attention. Yeah, I did post it, Sadesh. Okay, let's check Twitter. Does Hall start? I don't know. I don't know if Hall's going to be starting. Why Bruno over Hugo? Now, it's just because of the minutes, basically. Like, I find it always safer to captain a player that's going to start the majority of minutes. Yeah. Oh, wait. Sorry, it's the wrong team. I didn't refresh. Let me make sure that this team is saved. Okay, yeah. Sorry, it's the wrong team. Let me just correct this. Sorry, guys. No, sorry, it's the wrong. Oh, it's the team from long ago. That's why. Okay, sorry, I just posted the wrong game week. My bad. 2 minutes to go, no early team sheet news as of now. Yeah, sorry guys. It was so basically on the app you have to like allow Discord to give access to certain photos. So that's why it was a team from a while ago. Gay or Hill? I'd go for Hill. Like you have to play your players that are playing Burnley. So yeah, we need some punts, Tarang. We do need some punts, but it's just like every other punt this week was a bit dead, in my opinion. Start one and bench one, Wilson or DCL. DCL's on pens, so let me just check Leeds. I mean, Wilson's slightly higher, Fulham slightly higher, but I think I would just start DCL because he's on penalties. Wilson or Rodgers, who to start? I mean, you probably want to start both of them if you have them. I mean, your team's probably pretty stacked if you're able to bench one. Yeah, maybe it is Wilson, because Aston Villa have been a bit in bad form and they've got European competitions. Harland and Salah, Ekitike and Wirtz. I mean, if both of them are going to guarantee to be playing well, then yes. But if Harland starts, I still feel like he's a good option. Now, hopefully I answered your question about Bruno. It's just the fact that he's got more minutes. And that is TUPD time. I was caught napping here. It is because of the deadline. I do apologize for leaving things a bit late, posting the wrong picture to Discord, that sort of thing. But let's see what happens. A few people taking Harland out. A few people captaining other options. Let's see what sort of happens. It's going to be interesting. Martian is saying good luck. Went Ekatike captain, says Tarang. I don't think it's a bad option. The thing, and I think what you also have to think about is like 60, 70 minutes might be enough. Even Ekatike coming off the bench and scoring 3 goals or 2 goals is enough. It just depends on how the game flow goes. FPL's luck at the end of the day, and the fact is that Bruno's playing 90 minutes, so maybe in those 90 minutes he gets one more chance that could be converted. Who knows? Is your effective ownership not going to be now that you have captained Harland? So I haven't captained Harland, so hopefully this was Bruno. I did save the team. We'll see. I think Harland's effective ownership will be around like 120%. I still feel like there'll be people captaining him. It just depends on your rank bracket. But yeah, I'm going to let you guys get back to your Saturday though, because we are on a bit of a later time slot this week. So do appreciate, as always, you guys joining me, chatting FPL, discussing. Let's hope it's a banger. We had the chocolate milk to go, so it should be hopefully a good game week. And I'll see you guys for blank game week 31 content. So don't forget, it is a blank game week coming up. Let's see what happens. Let's just hope that it's going to be another green arrow for game week 30. But for the time being, I'm signing off with Navy FPL, and I'm out. Cheers. Bye.